Entrepreneurial Edge is brought to you by Business Banking from FNB, because small ideas can lead to big business. FNB, how can we help you?
Hello and welcome to the Entrepreneurial Edge. I'm Chris Bishop. Now imagine you're pounding the road day after day, you're tired and you've got a long way to go. Piles of paperwork await you at the border. I suppose it's okay if this is your business and you're making money. Now this has been the life of Frits Kroon, a man who has driven the rough road to getting the entrepreneurial edge. He started out with one truck, which he drove himself, and now turns over more than 50 million rand. That's about $7 million a year. How did he do it? Well, the man himself is right here with us in the studio, but first, let's take a look at what the company does.
The company started in 1999 when Mr. Frits Kroon bought his first truck. He was the driver himself, and so he started in 99, small beginnings, and it grew up to where it is today. We specialize in abnormal transport, cross-border into Africa. A lot of, well, all our vehicles is currently en route to DRC with abnormal loads. We aim at the mining industry, yellow machines, earth moving equipment, and big abnormal like crushers and so on. I would say the biggest challenge at this stage is to keep everybody happy. At this stage there is a big shortage of abnormal vehicles in South Africa. A lot of the mining companies cross-border has taken up all our low beds so far, so yeah, it is expanding and quite rapidly. The fuel is drastic, very expensive, but at this stage there's nothing we can do. If we want to move, we have to pay, so yeah.
Now in the studio with me, as promised, we have the man himself, Frits Kroon of Frits Kroon Transport. Welcome. Now it's been a long road for you, but I understand that when you left school, you went to go and be a hunter in the bush.
Yeah, got the year off, didn't go to the army. Went to Zimbabwe, Botswana, very fortunate to be with hunting elephants at the age of 20. Buffalo, see a lot of the whole of Africa, or Southern Africa, Zimbabwe, Botswana, all of South Africa. And from there on it developed in driving trucks.
Well, it sounds like you enjoyed it. So what was the turn then into driving trucks? When did you see that moment?
Well, the first, like I said, it was an off year, so you have to get back to bending backwards and try to make a living working. Then my dad had a construction company, which I started driving truck for him at 10 cube tippers, just local around Pretoria and all that in Johannesburg, on the construction sites. And from there on, I went to my dad and asked him, well, there was opportunity to get into the abnormal stuff, low bit work. And then I asked him if I can borrow some money to buy the truck, because obviously I just fresh out of school and hunting, I was happy hunting, so the tips were more than the salary, but it was a great experience. From there on he borrowed me money and I went to the guy who actually knew the oak, and he said, well, we make a plan, because he was getting old and he didn't want to do it anymore. So I bought the one truck off him, and from there on it started. So
just take a step back here. Your grandfather and your father, they were both entrepreneurs. Did they instill having your own business into you when you were growing up?
My dad was the best entrepreneur, the guy that can have. Taught us well, and yeah, I think it wasn't for him, and then mighty God, I wouldn't be here today in any case.
So, you know, your father, when you were watching him when you were growing up, what did you pick up that made you think, yeah, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to have my own business?
I think it's like any other small oak. He envies his dad working, and he's got a good relationship. So yeah, I want to be like one day when I'm big, I want to be like my dad. Yeah.
So he lent you about 200,000 rand, which is about $30,000-40,000. So essentially, he gave you that, and where did you go? Where did you get your first truck?
No, I bought the first international Paystar. Those old railway Paystars. It was a day cab, not very luxuries like today's. No radios, no aircon, no decent beds. Well, they didn't have a bed. Like I said, it was a day cab. Steering. There was a lot of playing on the steering wheel. So yeah,
It was very difficult. And one thing that makes me smile is that people say, oh yeah, first truck, he drove himself, as if it's nothing. But on the other hand, you and I have been across this continent by road, and it is a mission. Just tell me, when were the worst days for you?
I think it was worse, or it was bad while you're there. But if you look back, it wasn't that bad. I can still remember it was clearly like it happened yesterday. The long roads up to Namibia and all that. I would sleep on the steering wheel for a week because there wasn't a bed sleeping on. So the best thing was to lie on your hands or on your arms.
So basically, at
like
night,
that,
it was just like this.
You were so tired. It didn't matter where you could just time to close your eyes and sleep for a few hours and then go on.
And apart from the boredom and the long hours, what's the biggest problem for you doing these long drives across the continent?
Well, for us in the abnormals nowadays, it's not a big problem because we're not allowed to travel at night. Getting to the border, you get 2 days to travel to the border, and you sit 2-3 days, and then you travel to the, say, if you go up north, you'll go 2 days or a day to Beitbridge, and then sit 2 days, and drive another day or day and a half to Chirundu, and sit there another 2-3 days. And then when you go to the Congo, you drive another 2 days. So the guys get a lot nowadays. Get a lot of sleep and rest, and sitting and doing nothing, waiting for the papers to clear.
But in your day, it was quite difficult. You must have some stories about how you kept going all those years.
It was. The thing is that made you cross a lot is you're sitting there and you're losing money. The other thing is now it's also this thing is you're sitting there, it's dead time, and that you want to pull your hair out of your head, because you're sitting there and it's going nowhere slowly.
And what did you used to do to pass the time? I mean, obviously there's radios and things. What did you do?
Just sit around, try to read, or just walk up and down. It's not like I said, my truck wasn't very luxury, so I couldn't sit in the truck and relax like the guys do and put the aircon on or radio on. My radio was a Walkman and with batteries.
And also, I understand that your future wife, who now is your wife, if she wanted to see you at weekends, she had to you had to go and pick her up and take her in the cab to Namibia or something. Is that right?
That was the best chats we had, because you obviously couldn't drive very fast, so and you can't go anywhere. So you had to sit there together and talk hours and hours and hours, and it was good times. I must say that it was a good, nice chats, talking through stuff and all that. Yeah.
So it was a good time for your marriage as well as your business those early days.
The first year wasn't very good because I was always on the road. So that 5th year when I got off the trucks, when we got married, we weren't used to staying each other. weren't used to be staying that much long with each other. Yeah.
After about 5 years, because you said you had to carry on, even when you got drivers in, people were off sick and you had to fill in for them. Was there ever a time on the road where you thought, I've had enough, no more, please no more?
It happened a lot. It's just you get so tired, and not tired, but you getting worn out. You just want to have a break. Obviously, a holiday wasn't when you start. There is no money for holiday, and you want to start working on the business. It's working 7 days a week. Like I said, always said, if you don't work 7 days a week, you're not working hard enough. So holidays, there wasn't, the first 6 years, there weren't a lot of holidays in between. So you get worn out, you get tired, for sure.
And the money side of it, in those early days, how difficult was it sometimes to get the money to keep going, the turnover that you needed? Being an abnormal it's a niche market, so the money is there, or was there, or still is there. The big thing is just to get the money into your account, because it's nice having it on paper, but if it's not in your account, it's a problem. And it was still the same now, it's still the same then. It's a bit of a problem, yeah. And were there times early on when that 200,000 rand that you borrowed from your father was looking a bit sort of depleted and thin?
Yeah, well, the 200,000 was just for the. I think I had money for a little bit of diesel for a month or something like that, and I had to pay him back. So the first, like I said, the first few years, it was hard. It was very hard.
And I read a great story once about a business in America. They were delivering, same as you, and what they used to do, they used to train the drivers to collect money as they went, and then stop at the bank before the next job, deposit it and move on, so they had enough money. Did you ever have to do desperate things like that?
No, well, at first I didn't have a name, so nobody knew me, and I knew nobody as well. So at first, well, you had to, the guy had to pay the money up front. sorry, I don't have account with the guys, so please pay up front. So that would at least help, because obviously with being abnormal, we need to take out abnormal permits. So you have to, obviously that you have to pay up front to get a permit to get onto the road.
And just to get a little bit more of an idea of your business before we go into the second half, now you deliver heavy equipment.
That's
and you
right, yeah.
deliver to a lot of mines. And which countries in the continent?
Well, we do the whole of Southern Africa. We've been to Angola, we've been to Zimbabwe a lot, Botswana, Namibia, Lesotho, Swaziland, Zambia, DRC, up to far as north as Kolwezi, which is the copper belt, Tanzania. So yeah.
And
obviously, and Mozambique, sorry.
And it's mainly heavy earth movers, that sort of
Mining
stuff.
equipment, yellow machinery, excavators, dozers, transformers, mill shells, anything that you can think of.
And just before we go over to the second half and talk more of the issues, was there a moment also in your business where you were driving along one day and you thought, I've got it, I've cracked it? Was there that moment for you? When you really thought yeah, I'm in?
Yeah, I think it, but I don't think that you cracked it and say, now I'm made. I think you always have to be on your toes and look around and see what's going on. But I would say that after the 7th year, you start to get, we learn every day, but you start to learn the industry and you get your fingers onto it. But I'm always try to be humble and look out for what's going on.
Frits Kroon, trucker extraordinaire. We're going to talk more about the issues in the second half. It's time for a quick ad break. When we return, we find out more about what's happening in Southern Africa.